Hello and welcome to the 117th episode of Rambling Weekly. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Doing all right. Truthfully, it's been a bit of a swift week. Not really eventful. Did a bunch of different stuff for work, so it kind of felt fresh, new, and exciting. So it went by pretty quickly. Writing, I've been keeping that slowly. So I'm now in the second notebook. I'm like 143 odd pages in. So that I haven't really read much. Unfortunately, that's not been happening. I've been dabbling in. I've kind of hit a wall with playing things where I'm just like, I don't really want to play too much of anything. So, okay, I got through Dark Souls 1 finally. And then, it was one of those things. I played for a little bit, and then I was like, I don't want to play this right now. Pick it back up. Okay, we can play it for a little bit. I don't want to play right now. Pick it up. Shoot, I got to restart because I really don't remember anything. Played again, like off and on for a while, and then finally set through and beat it. And then I blitzed through the original Resident Evil 4, and then after that, it's kind of been like, I don't really know what I want to play. Been dabbling a little bit in Valkyria Chronicles 1. Been dabbling a little bit in the Jupiter Hell, the Doom-like, rogue-like. It's basically, cramming a Doom-style game into a roguelike, which kind of, you wonder, how does that work? It works. I recommend it. It's a fun, enjoyable game. Very tough, but one of those that you can play for a little bit and be like, okay, I'm good for right now, and then come back to it, and then do that enough to eventually be upset, and then be like, okay, I'm done with this for a while, and I'll come back to you a little later. But there's that. I don't think I've really been playing much else. Part of it's like I don't have a really good idea of what I really want to do. I wear do I want to play anything and do, like, I've been wanting to kind of do one on Demon's Crest, but I haven't really played it, and that was kind of the whole spiel with it, was be like, I'm not really too familiar with the series, but or Ghost and Goblins and such, but yeah, this is a very different style game. I tried playing the, what is it, Gargoyles Quest or whatever on the Game Boy, because it's on the Nintendo Switch online thing. That game, that game, game beats my ass. I don't know if you get what happens if you get past the first level and then die, or if it just starts you at that first level again or what. But I have not beaten the first level boss yet, so I'm like, I can't talk about this game. To be fair, it's not like I'm playing it religiously or even daily or anything like that on any sort of, like, I play it a couple times and don't play it again for another year and a half kind of vibe, or like 6-7 months later, I'm like, oh, I'll give it a shot, and then be like, oh, no, I won't give it a shot. Oh no. So so I'm kind of really, for lack of a better way to phrase it, struggling on what I would like to do on that front. It's not even including all the stuff I still need to do for the odds and ends of stuff for genealogy, but I haven't even really gotten into that. So, and maybe that's why my brain is a little more resistant to trying to do something else, because it's like, hey, idiot, you need to get back to fiddling with that. But I mean, that is kind of the nature of the beast when it's something you just kind of do for fun and as a hobby, as opposed to it being like I need to do this because this is like my job and it's something that I'm wanting to be more professional about. And could you be more professional in your hobbies? I guess, but that I think there's a little bit of a I don't know. It feels like something's lost when you do that. I can't be serious all the time, as much as I act like it. Maybe not. And this is the silliest you get to see me be. So that's what I got. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna get into this topic then, because that's be probably be a quicker episode, anyways. Because this is my ongoing crusade against the internet by using the internet, as one does. But yes, I wanted to talk about the idea of the Potemkin village a little bit, because that is seemingly what we have stumbled into with social media and stuff like that. Is that all it is a construction of a never-ending series of Potemkin villages. And what is a Potemkin village? If you don't know, it is. It's named after a certain Russian man named. I don't know why I phrased it like that. It seems kind of. He was a lover. He was a lover of one of many of Catherine II and Catherine the Great. And he was like a politician, military man, all sorts of fun things like so. And he was, let's see, let's bring up any other kind of stuff. Potemkin. How about we learn how to spell Potemkin? A statesman, that's a good one for it. Favorite of Catherine the Great. And he had died during the Treaty of Jassy, which ended the war with the Ottoman Empire that he had overseen. So, guy was around in the 18th century, late 18th century, and he 250-ish years later, Russia has annexed Crimea in the 1700s, late 1700s, when things are going on with the Ottoman Empire. And he, along with Catherine, take, I think it's like a 6-month expedition to go through and see what's going on and everything like that. And the story is that while sailing down the Nepnier, I don't know how to say it. This river, very big river, that I think flows into the Black Sea. That he would put up these facades, these fake villages, and get all these people together to, oh, look how busy it is. And then, and after they pass through, tear it down, build it up again down the river. Now, the whole spiel of that is very much considered to be not how he did that. Catherine and Potemkin were lovers, and they were, they kind of wonder, hey, were they married, that sort of thing. And that doesn't keep one from lying to the other, but they seem very respectful towards one another. And some of the letters that we have talk about how they enjoyed each other's company, their intellect, and he played relief bat when she took on other suitors, and in between those suitors, we'll say. And they very, very much how that relationship was, and and whatnot. But the idea of the Potemkin village comes from this alleged ordeal where he was basically trying to, in a way, he was trying to deceive about, look how great this new territory that we have is. And that's not quite the gist of it. They speculate that there was probably some facadism. I don't know. facadism we're going with. That doesn't quite sound right, but facadomy doesn't sound very good either. But take the go into like some sort of fake Western village or like Western town or whatever, where they've or like in the movies or something where they put up a front. It's supposed to look how it looks Western and everything, and it's not. Like there was probably some aspect of that to some degree, but it was more of showing Catherine, hey, this is what it looks like, but this is what we're looking to try to do with it, and stuff. But the meaning behind it is much more, like a lot of phrases and words. They sort of twist and turn, and funnily enough, we've got what is this idea of putting up this facade, more so for deception, a little bit more of a nefarious purpose, because there's a lot of that done in architecture as well that you can see. I think Toronto has a ton of it. You can see it also in just really big cities like in New York and Chicago and stuff, where it's like, oh yeah, look at this. Like I think it's in Chicago. There's a I think it's Chicago, or maybe it's in Manhattan. Basically, there was a skyscraper they started building in like the 20s or something, and then they were like, yeah, we can't do this. And they came back to it, and then they've built it up since. But like the first handful of floors are the old stone, and then it turns into the newer bit. You see this with Japanese castles as well. Nagoya Castle being a big culprit of this to some degree. Where it's like, oh, it looks like a castle. It's really neat, and then you go inside and it's like, oh, it's air conditioned and very, very well put together. Huh. Himeji Castle is not quite like that. And if you are interested in knowing, Himeji Castle, I believe, is where they had filmed the original Shogun miniseries. That I think was filmed in the 60s or something. So if you saw the new one that came out, you may want to give that old one a look-see. You might enjoy that one as well. So, because Himeji Castle was one that was not touched or destroyed in some sort of war. So I mean, they look at like the Golden Pavilion, like King Kakuji, like it was. It had burned down at some point, and they rebuilt it. Same with a lot of other wooden structures and such. So slightly different than the Nagoya Castle thing. Anyways, where I'm going with all this kind of crap. It's not crap. Just random details of things to just kind of pepper in there, because my brain is like that, like a lot of people's brains, just kind of going wherever. Is that is what the internet has turned into. It is nothing more than a series and chains of Potemkin villages. This here is my continued railing against the internet by using the internet. Oh, how feeble an attempt. Oh, how foolish an act. But it's like, not to say that people are necessarily doing it for nefarious reasons, but there is a lot of this just facadism. I'm gonna go with facadism. There's just a lot of this fictitious, let's put up a front, and that is what it's gonna be, and that's like how, like, yeah, we're putting up a thing. I mean, we are all aware of this to some degree. Like Instagram, it's not technically their best life. They're just, they're distilling it into this sort of thing to present some sort of this image of it. However, that in there lies the problem, because how far does that go, right? Because there's a lot of ways you can certainly look up pictures of they're like the Czech Republic and stuff of on the river painting half of the building, and then you can see the other half where it's in disrepair. And that's not just to say, like, I said that because I saw it on something there, and I was checking, and it said it was from the Czech Republic. Anyways, like, that's not to say only them, but that is yeah, like those are buildings, right? You know, you're putting on the, like, think of all the images and stuff of like those different areas of the Mediterranean, like Greek Isles, or something of the sort. I think Crete has it. Well, you have the very distinct blue and white, or the very colorful buildings and stuff for Greenland. The distillation through taking a picture and whatnot like that, and then you can do that through other things, and not just simply for presentation for look how nice this looks, right? That's this is where it starts to bleed into things like propaganda and whatnot. And what good is anything if it can't be used for propaganda, right? But it has annoyed me how bad it has gotten, which shouldn't be a surprise, really, because that's what the internet does. It's kind of like money, right? Money doesn't fix problems. It may fix money-related problems, but it doesn't fix like behavioral problems necessarily. I think it more so enhances, but there's also that chance for the dice roll to be they're a little shady. But kind of like with the internet, right? We're like with fame, it might enhance qualities of a person, and it maybe a quality is good, but then once it gets enhanced, it sort of spirals out of control and it becomes no good. It becomes bad, as it were, the opposite of good. But it's just a bombardment of it, right? Because it's you get all this. Oh, well, you got the efforts for people who are trying to make something that is a little bit more refined, a little bit more. I don't want to say pristine, but pristine, distilled, and just filtered. Because they're trying to tell something. I've mentioned before, like Modular just came out with like the Ultima 7 video, right? Talking about Ultima 7 and all the stuff like that. You kind of need to script out a bit of that to go through the details of what's going on. Because then if not, you get a lot of just radio silence and stuff. But I think there's too much of it, as it were. Part of that may be because there is less and less interaction, seemingly. I say that only, like, I was reading, what was that? I saw this on my phone the other day and I was just kind of befuddled. Let's see. Alright. So, sensationalist as it is, there's a few different, because part of it's like, okay, how true is this? So, evidently, a certain bit of research from the University of Stavanger, which is in Norway, okay, alright, reveals that around 40% of Gen Zers are losing their ability to communicate through handwriting, raising pressing questions about the cognitive, cultural, and personal implications of this decline. And then it kind of goes into the, we'll talk about the technologies like WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok. It's more communication through the vocal as opposed to, or even just doing texts and stuff. But even then, why text when you can just FaceTime? I guess. But it goes into then talking about the cognitive benefits of handwriting. So myself, I handwrite for the stories, which is probably a maddening experience for other people, and I've been told so. People who are like, why are you doing that to yourself? Do you have some sort of brain damage? Like, are you, who hurt you to do this? But it's more of like it's easier for me to express myself through handwriting than it is to try to express for like typing a story or something like that. There's a difference, right? Like I could, not like fly off the handle, click, 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 super type fast or anything. But, I can express myself what I want to say on something typing without an issue. But when it's going into like a story or something, I need to slow down. I need to be a little bit more into it. Anyways, talking about like the studies from institutions like the University of Washington show that writing by hand engages areas of the brain linked to memory, comprehension, and critical thinking. It requires active focus, fine motor coordination, and synthesis, making it a valuable tool for learning. According to, and then kind of going through this a little bit more, this is on msn.com, /en/news. Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, typing while faster regularly encourage verbatim transcription without deeper processing. And that's kind of what I think my, not necessarily like problem is, but I can't do that typing for some reason. Handwriting, on the other hand, promotes better retention and understanding, which is what I need to remember stuff about the story, because I do have these bad habits of stop and go. Additionally, fine motor skills developed through writing are crucial for tasks requiring precision, such as playing musical instruments or even surgery. Don't really do surgery. I mean, you can call me or text me, but I am no doctor, but I will perform that surgery if you want to for a small nominal fee. Not really, but again, I am no doctor. And musical instruments, I can't play much of anything. Might be taking those piano lessons sometime soon, but we'll find out. Wrong pipe. Anyways, yet reports indicate that many Gen Z students struggle with basic handwriting tasks, according to the Turkish newspaper Turkiye Today. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but I think it's more of like the local way of saying Turkey, or like spelling it out. You have the T, the U with the two dots overhead, RKIYE. And students often feel bewildered when required to write by hand, producing messy and illegible results. This lack of practice reflects broader changes in educational priorities and cultural habits. Loss of things like personal letters, journals, handwritten documents, handwriting. Without handwriting, societies risk losing these meaningful artifacts for tangible connections for history and heritage. Research from France and Germany suggests that children exposed to handwriting exercises develop stronger empathy and emotional expression, underscoring its role in fostering thoughtful communication, which is very interesting, right? So not only are we building these habits in social media of presenting, here's the best of ourselves, or maybe here's the worst of ourselves. Maybe here's the authentic self, right? And it's how much of the authentic self is really just a pantomime for this is what's getting me clicks and views and such. And maybe it is a complete unfiltered expression. Social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram further shape how young people communicate. The emphasis on brevity and immediacy encourages truncated sentences, oversimplified ideas, and the use of emojis as stand-ins for words. Now, leave my emojis out of it. But that is something there. Shakespeare once was quoted in one of his works is, "Brevity is the soul of wit." To which I reply, he has never seen Twitter. But especially back in the day when there was limitation. So the truncated sentences, oversimplified ideas, and I think you see this in not only just the oversimplification of ideas, but also the oversimplification of the implementation of said ideas. Like, just simply do the thing. I know I have this. There's certain ideas that I have that it's like, well, you could do that, but then what are the ramifications of trying to do something like that? Like, I know a couple weeks back, the B. Clark, Slade, and I were talking about like Social Security stuff, exciting stuff, right? And I was like, yeah, I think it'd be. I wonder if trying to redirect it into making it to where it's more on a local scale in a communal sense, how that would work and whatnot. Mind you, I did not go through the full process of which of like A, the ramifications, B, the implementations and all that other stuff, but it was just kind of like, hey, throwing a thought out there. But that's an oversimplification, so it's not to say that I am above these things. I'm not. But I've used this phrase before from, I think it's I know his last name's like Lichtenstein or Lichtenstein. Is it Frederick Lichtenstein? German philosopher from back in the day, like 1800s, saying the limits of my language means the limits of my world. And there is something to that, right? If you can't properly express something in language, that becomes a very malleable, you can't really grasp what it is, right? It just turns into this free-floating blob, amorphous cloud, just kind of that you can't really pin down. So it'll maybe be here, and then it's there, and then it's there. Oh my goodness, it's going every which way. And when you can't pin something down to figure out what it is, I think that's what makes it a bit harder to deal with, right? If you can't, and I think this might be where some, not all of it, of course. I think where this might be where some problems of like anxiety really crop up is if you can't identify the thing. It's almost like it's like that looming dread that you haven't quite seen yet, but I think Alien 1. You haven't quite seen the alien yet, but it's coming, and it's gonna be spooky. Yeah, and I kind of want to. So, and I know there are certain technologies that do have the ability, like with notepads, like electronic notepads, of doing handwriting and stuff. I don't remember what it was from. I remember reading about how there's a bit of a cognitive process that goes along with handwriting, because it allows your brain to just slow down, think of that word, but also line up the other one so you can actually kind of boop, 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 boop. So, but that the big thing there that I was kind of wishing to point to. Where did I've lost it because my brain is goo. I guess in a way the habits, and this is kind of how I feel with AI to a very strong degree, is that AI is a confluence of all the information that's fed into it, right? And so if you have 10 people and 8 people believe the sky is green, the AI will kind of eventually start to spit out, oh yeah, the sky's green. Until there's other implementations made to it to be like, no, with its lens it looks up and sees, now the sky is blue, you idiots. Stop telling me it's green. There's that filtration going on, and when you, and not to say that, oh, because of handwriting you can't do this. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But when you start to chip away at the ability to communicate, and not necessarily in some sort of psycho nefarious puppet masters of the of like some sort of higher echelon of, it's not Solaris from Xenogears kind of thing, but the when people are not able to communicate, they have to then start to express themselves in only the ways that they know how. All right, and that might not be exactly how they really feel on things, or it might not be quite how, like the intention of what they're trying to go for. Not able to really talk about it, and so then you turn into what you can, because it's what you express, right? What you express is what everybody knows about you. That's one thing, but then what's hiding back here? The thoughts that are hiding back here. Germans have a word for the thoughts at the back of the mind. You know that? Those secret little brain worms hiding back at the back of your noggin. Those. I don't know what's wrong with me, but they have they got a word for that. We don't have that in English, other than like deep-seated thoughts or something. I don't know, secretive thoughts. I mean, but it doesn't quite have the, right there it is. There's a little bit of the wiggling going on there. That's part of the thing with English. And as much as I don't like how the game ended up, Metal Gear Solid 5 going into as thoroughly as that story is, going into talking about language and stuff, I thought was a smart thing. I thought that was, that is very important, to be able to be like, oh yes, control the language, control people, kind of thing. But there's something to that. Like, there's something to a thought process and language, and I think that's where English, we are starting to see, we joke about English is the language that jumps other languages in the alleyway and then rummages through their pockets for loose linguistic rules and words and stuff, but, I mean, there is something to that. The way that English plays with things, it in a linguistic sense, it turns, everything is a facade. Everything is, you can't ever just be direct about something. It's always got to be couched in contextual information, but also, which is important, you need the context for something, because if you just say, I blew out her back, people are going to be like, A, what are you talking about? And B, it could have been about something else. Really hard to be. I don't know why that one came to mind. But it could be talking about like the. Let me try to save this. Let me try to fish this back out. Like talking about like blew out the back tires of some sort of vehicle. Look. Saved it. But like with English, you're playing with a lot of different things, and then not to say that other languages don't have this, but it does feel like, in an effort to try to be all-encompassing, it becomes overly complicated to be like, oh well, I'm, the double entendres, the obfuscation of meaning by couching it in certain languages to try try to convince others of, oh, well, hey, this is actually the intention, but I'm presenting the facade of this. I think that is, I say that about just social media and stuff, but I think that is the damning ramifications of what the English language has become. It has turned into a linguistic Potemkin village where we put on all these fronts and everything's fine, but it's in a way of deception, and I don't. And outside of just being like honest and true to a point, I don't think there's any other way you can cut that Gordian knot. And as someone who believes that from language springs forth everything, how we do, how we act, how we behave, how we think, I think that it's one of those things that it is the train on the tracks, and we can either try to get out of the way of it, or we can try to stand there and stop it, and I don't think that's going to go very well. So, I don't think that there's any other. I don't think there's a good solution to it. Like I said, I think the only solution is to mean what you say, and mean what you say. Be, just be straight, honest, and true with it, right? Straightforward. Sure, that might ruffle some feathers. It might be a little bit of a prickly pear sort of thing. Prickly pear. That's a fun thing to say. but I can't think of a good other way to combat that. It's other than learn a new language. Learn some new languages. That'd be a good start. Because that's another thing that plays into it, right? Is I don't remember where I learned this from, but we can, how you formulate sentences and how sometimes something happens, but with like with Japanese and Spanish, you can attribute to a thing falling off of a wall, like a clock fell off the wall. Certainly you can dive into how it happened, like what were the reasons behind it, what caused this to how it happened, who did it, and stuff. English, though, because of how, probably due to the advent of being a lot more in a journalistic sense. Let's get rid of the yellow journalism and let's get into prime proper. Ask the who, what, when, where, why, how. Who, what, when, where, why, how. Okay, yeah, I got it right. The 5 W's, the 1 H. That contextually is fed into our language to be like, hey, oh yeah, what, you hear a noise and oh, what happened? Well, the picture fell off the wall, and then it turns into a combative, what happened, why'd you do it, who did it, kind of thing. That sometimes something just happens to fall. And in our neurosis, we've decided that is neurosis even a word? I don't think it is. Oh, it is a word. Neurotic behavior, neurosis. Look at that. Neuroticism, neurosis. Excessive or irrational anxiety or obsession. In medicine, a mental health condition of which anxiety is the primary characteristic, without major disorganization of thinking and behavior. Compare with psychosis. Similar to psychoneurosis, psychopathy, obsession, phobia, fixation, neuroticism. All right, but that's just, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, because but it's you know, I don't know. Basically, the language, as well as the ubiquitousness of the nature of the internet has done, and I have no idea why I'm doing it, but the internet has exacerbated problems that have slowly been dripping into the English language, of just, yeah, and that's, it's a language thing in general, I guess, right? Because language, it's not like it is stuck in stone forever to be this way, unless it's something like, Latin or some other ancient language that is no longer spoken. But when it starts turning into this thing where you're always projecting things, always projecting, hiding the self. I think that comes out in our social media, comes out in our interactions. They're always putting on a front, always putting up this thing, and I think that deception, not necessarily that it's trying to be nefarious. Sometimes it's simply wanting to belong to something or some group of people. But I think in doing so, you deprive yourself of being honest, and I think that starts to wear on you. Maybe not heavy, chains and such, but I don't know. I've always been of the mindset that your weight is the weight you're given, and that's what you carry, and it doesn't ever get any lighter. It actually only gets heavier as you go along. You just find trickier ways to carry that weight down the road. You just get sometimes you get a little bit clever about it, and sometimes you get possibly a little too clever, and then it blows up in your face. So, but it's always there for you to carry the weight. I'll use one of the images. Hopefully I can find it here at the end. But my aunt, she took a picture, and I was very, very much in agreement with what it said. I thought it was pretty cool. But do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. And I think that is, yeah. I think that's the heart of it. And how that works into all this, I think, once again, to kind of harken back to one of the earlier rambling weeklies, it is our unspoken duty to be light bringers, to proffer hope to one another. In the same bit, I think it is our duty to also be honest to one another, and to speak truthfully, and not just freely and just to shoot at the mouth, because I don't think that, because you get there is a the boomer plague of those who are like, oh, people don't like me because I just speak honestly, and it's like, no, you just shoot off at the mouth. Like, yes, you can just speak. Sometimes it's better to not speak. But I mean, yeah. But I think that's like the overcorrection, right? So there's the overcorrection. So, well, actually, that's the initial problem. The overcorrection has been this. Let's set up these facades, and we need to try to rein it back, but not overshoot the goal. However, that's not how that works. Would it be nice? Yes. Is it going to happen? No. So, just being honest. All right, enough gobbling me, and yeah, that's it. Enjoy your day, weekday, weeknight, weekend, and everything in between. I'll hopefully have another rambling next week. Like, I work next Saturday, so my reading for Sager's Calling will be on Saturday. So I've got to be on my better behavior and try to record something maybe earlier in the week, because truthfully I try to do these the day of, in Saturday or Sunday morning. So like right now it's 9:51 a.m. It's just nice and cozy to kind of get that and then put it out the day of and stuff. So yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, doing good. Do 117 in. I wanted to try to hit 150 by the end of the year. I don't know what week this is, but we can take a look. Let's see. What week of the year is it currently? It's week 13 here in the year 2025. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. So wait, no, that's not right. Dang it. Okay, it's the end of week 13, so it's about to be week 14. So week 14, we still have 40, what? No, not 40. 38. I only have a couple. I only have like a couple days I could try to take off. So, but right now we're doing all right. We're doing fine. I still might hopefully hit that goal. I don't want to try to cheese it by like, oh look, I'm going to do multiple ramblings per week. No, I don't want to do that. I'm trying to hit 150. Oh, that is one of those goals. So, yes. Anyways, the outro for this one, we're gonna harken back to some old Ramblin' Weekly tunes, but also some good old Falcon Sound Team JDK stuff. This is from the second of the. There's 3 of them listed this way. It's just vocal 1, vocal 2, vocal 3, and it's a bunch of different surprise vocal themes, or themes that have singing in them. And this one is "Go Fight" from Star Trader. So yeah, you can find it on YouTube and stuff. I would recommend listening to some of them. They've got some good songs to them. Probably vocal 3 has the best full collection of tunes, but that does not take away 1 and 3. 1, I think 1's a little bit more sappy sounding. It's not bad. There's some tunes in there, like Josephine's really good, but I also just like the name Josephine. I don't know where I was going with that, because that's not how that tune goes. Anyways, Go Fight. It's it's a good one. So thanks, and once again, enjoy everything the week has to offer, and I'll hopefully catch you next week. Toodles.